Doll of Friendship by Stephen Meehan.
Walking down the corridors of the Gemini, Samantha held her mother's hand with her right and clutched her most precious possession, the doll she had gotten for her birthday, to her chest with the other. As the two journeyed towards the ship's hospice ward, Samantha spotted a lot of the people wearing a black armband with a series of red dots running along the center of it. The child shifted her gaze from the metallic corridors of her home to her mother's left arm and found the identical band on it.
Mummy, why is everyone wearing the same armband?
Cassandra halted and then took a knee so she could look into her daughter's eyes.
Our matriarch is sick, Samantha. All the adults are wearing these as a constant reminder of her suffering.
Why don't I have one?
With a sorrowful smile, Cassandra hugged her daughter.
You're far too young to be worried about the meaning of these armbands. Now let's keep going. We have to hurry, darling.
Samantha nodded as her mother stood and continued their journey to the ship's medical section to visit their matriarch. But the child didn't understand what that meant. She was happy to be exploring her home with her mother. With as busy as her mother was, Samantha enjoyed the rare gift the morning brought her. Upon reaching the secluded section, Cassandra halted, drawing in a deep breath before kneeling down to gaze into her daughter's eyes. After a brief silence, she brushed her daughter's dangling hair away from her face as her lips curled into a trembling smile.
We're going to visit the matriarch. Then we'll do something together.
Okay, Mummy,
Samantha said, gripping her mother's hand even tighter. Cassandra smiled and squeezed her daughter's hand in return as she led Samantha into the ward. They walked through a couple of halls until they reached a room with attentive guards. They straightened up and put their hands up, commanding Cassandra and Samantha to stop. Once they did, the lead guard leaned forward.
The child will have to stay here.
Cassandra put her free hand on her hip and tried to object.
She should...
It's the doctor's orders.
The guard stepped forward, his gaze drifting from Samantha to Cassandra. Cassandra licked her lips and closed her eyes, having registered the unrelenting commitment to his orders. Samantha pulled her head away from the conversation. She didn't understand the words, but she felt her mother's pain. Samantha wrapped an arm around her mother's leg.
what's happening, Mummy?
When she glimpsed the sorrow in Samantha's eyes, Cassandra kneeled again and kissed Samantha's forehead before she answered her daughter's plea.
It's okay, darling. Wait here. I won't be long. Afterwards, we'll go somewhere special.
Samantha didn't understand why the guard wouldn't allow her to continue, but she released her mother and looked down.
I guess so, Mummy.
Thank you, Samantha.
Her mother kissed her forehead once more before she stood and followed the guards into the matriarch's private room. When everyone left, Samantha doubled back and explored the rest of the ward. The ship's hospice ward, while small, contained numerous locked rooms. But as she wandered the halls of the forgotten section, she finally came to an open door, so she peeked inside. An elderly woman was laying in the room's single biochamber. Samantha stood in the doorway, observing the woman. When the elderly woman's gaze fell to Samantha, she smiled and spoke with a labored effort.
Who are you?
My name's Samantha. What's yours?
After a brief struggle, the woman propped herself up as her smile widened.
That's a pretty name, child.
She tapped her chest.
I'm Lucia.
Samantha hugged her doll as she beamed.
Your name's pretty too.
What are you holding?
After a glance at the doll, Samantha's gaze lifted to meet Lucia's pale blue eyes.
It's my friend, Christy.
That's another beautiful name.
Lucia offered a wry smile as she asked.
Is she my new doctor?
Samantha laughed as she entered the room, holding up her doll in front of her, saying,
No, Christy is my doll.
With a widening smile, Lucia said,
That's an obvious fact now, Samantha.
Samantha scanned the room, then inquired about her family. Lucia's smile dampened, answering the child's innocent question.
I don't have any family anymore.
That's so sad. Aren't there any friends to visit you?
I'm afraid not. I've outlived all my friends, Samantha.
I'm so sorry, Lucia.
Samantha said, walking up to the woman. With a glance at her doll, Samantha swallowed the small lump in her throat. She lifted Christy to the edge of the biochamber, offering,
You know, I'm willing to leave Christy with you. She's a great friend and a perfect listener.
That's thoughtful,
Lucia said, her voice nothing more than a whisper.
but I couldn't take your friend.
Samantha placed Christy next to Lucia, saying,
It's okay. Christy doesn't mind, and everyone needs a friend.
Thank you for your generosity, but I can't deprive you of Christy's companionship.
Please take Christy. I don't want my friend to be alone.
Lucia's smile softened, warm and endearing, but Samantha didn't understand why tears were flowing down the elderly woman's cheek.
What's wrong? Did I say something wrong?
No, Samantha. What you said was perfect.
But you're crying.
They are tears of joy. You've given me more than you could ever know.
Lucia said with love and thanks woven into her words. A nurse's voice echoed down the hall, and rushed footsteps followed. Samantha looked up and said,
I'll be back tomorrow if I can.
Lucia cradled the doll to her chest with trembling arms, holding it as if it were an anchor to a vivid memory.
Go. I'm sure your mother is worried about you.
Samantha looked away from Lucia for a moment, but she rose to her tiptoes and hugged Lucia as she whispered,
I'll be back again.
Thank you.
Lucia whispered as Samantha turned and ran to find her mother.
With that, our story concludes. I hope you've enjoyed today's reprieve from your daily grind. If you like the vibe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because every bit helps get this channel spread to those who require a momentary chance to unwind. I'll see you for the next tale, my friends.